This is Talk to OBN show on OBN Horn of Africa. In this edition, we'll be talking about the formation, all the process, and the journey of Prosperity Party. I am joined by Head of Public and International Relations, Dr.Bikila Hurrisa. Doctor, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
You're marking your 5th year's anniversary, right? Before talking about this anniversary, let's talk about the formation and why it's important to form this Prosperity Party in the very first place.
Thank you so much, and I would like to say happy anniversary of the Prosperity Party, and to say a few words about Prosperity Party. This party is a result of a very long time struggle of the Ethiopian people. And historically, in the modern statehood of Ethiopia, there are a lot of unaddressed political questions in Ethiopia, particularly related to issues of democracy and governance. So these unaddressed questions are related to how the state is established and how it responds to the political challenges of its citizens, and the very challenging mechanisms of addressing political, economic, social, and diplomatic issues are unaddressed issues in Ethiopia. So right from the beginning of the feudal regime, and including the Derg and the APRDF regime, there are 3 fundamental issues that are issues of a struggle for the Ethiopian people. One is the issue of equality and freedom. Equality and freedom is a very fundamental issue in the Ethiopian political history, which has not been properly addressed by the previous regimes. And the second one is issues of fairness and equitable distribution of resources and interests. And the past regimes did not properly address these economic issues, economic agenda of the public. And the other is also the issue of proper democracy, proper self-governance of the citizens, which has not been properly addressed by the previous regimes. So as a result of this, the 3 regimes, the immediate 3 regimes, the feudal regime, the military dictatorial regime, and the APRDF regime, did not comprehensively and holistically address the political, economic, and social issues and agenda of the public. Particularly during the last years of APRDF, the demand for change, the demand for reform, the demand for significant transformation in the Ethiopian political landscape was very significant, in the sense that there was a very serious demand from the youth, from the farmers, from the urban dwellers, and everybody was seriously demanding for change and reform. And as a result, this demand gradually developed into kind of political crisis that, to the extent that the state was totally in a chaotic situation because of the serious and continuous demand, which ultimately ended up into demonstrations, into civil disobedience, to the extent of challenging the security of the state as well. That's why at this a very important juncture, Prosperity Party emerged. And Prosperity Party, its formation and its establishment is a result of the very serious demand from the public, and also the commitment from the leadership of the APRDF itself from within to properly respond to these demands, in the sense that the need for reform should be positively responded to. So as a result, there were committed and determined leaders within the APRDF itself who tried to take this issue seriously and then move the reform forward. And ultimately, we can say Prosperity Party emerged as a result of the pushing force from outside, from the public generally, and also the commitment and readiness to reform from within. This is a combination of two forces which led to the formation of Prosperity Party. Therefore, the leaders who were committed, including our Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, took the initiative to move the reform forward in such a way that a party which can carefully and responsibly address to the public demand for reform can be established. So it's a kind of, reform-based transformation. It's not a revolution-based transformation. Because if it was revolution, it would have distracted a lot of issues in Ethiopia. Because it was a reform, there was a very careful management of the transition, a very responsible management of the reform in such a way that the past achievements could be continued to the future, and also the past wrong deeds could be properly addressed, yes, reformed. So it was more forward-looking, future-oriented type of reform. That's why Prosperity Party saved a lot of issues in this country, because it's based on careful attention to the critical and practical situations that are existing in Ethiopia, and instead of moving things by distracting all the past achievements, it took forward all the good things to the future, and also added value to what has been done by the previous regimes as well.
Well, the previous ruling party, EPRDF, used to lead the country by having this satellite and major parties. How about Prosperity Party?
In terms of the critical achievements, significant achievements of Prosperity Party, and what makes it a significant departure from EPRDF is its inclusiveness in terms of political interests of citizens in this nation. EPRDF, as you rightly stated, used to make the major parties and then the support satellite parties. This was a very serious discrimination of the political participation and political inclusiveness in this country. So one of the significant departure of Prosperity Party is it broke this distinction and discrimination of major party, satellite party dichotomy, which is a very dangerous and divisive dichotomy. As a result, Prosperity Party emerged as an inclusive, national, holistic, and big tent party, which includes all the segments of the society, including those who were marginalized as satellite parties. So that's why the formation process is not a simple merger process. It's an inclusive process where those satellite parties became part of the Prosperity Party establishment process. They were not invited. They just formed the Prosperity Party along with those quote-unquote major parties. So it's inclusive in the sense that, one, all the political interests and all segments of the society in this state are included in the Prosperity Party formation process, and also they are actively participating currently in pushing the reform forward. That is why the self-governance and also the shared governance principle of federalism is very carefully and holistically implemented after the formation of Prosperity Party. There's no more satellite party concept now. They are all Ethiopians. They are all part of Prosperity Party.
So every party is major party.
Major party. All citizens are important. All segments of the society are important. And they are all part of the establishment and part of the governance of Prosperity Party.
Okay, your party, this ruling party, Prosperity Party, has undertaken many initiatives, many reforms in the country. To talk about economic reforms, The party has identified 5 economic pillars, and many achievements have been achieved in that sense. Can you explicitly tell us those major achievements?
Yeah, you know, the economic achievements of Prosperity Party are significantly the results of the political achievement. It's because of the political reform that the economic achievements are realized. Therefore, let me talk about the political achievements first and then directly go to what you have asked right now. Politically, Prosperity Party significantly changed the political atmosphere of Ethiopia. That's a very important, departure for the history of political party markets in Ethiopia. One is, the opening up of the political space in Ethiopia. The political space in Ethiopia during the EPRDF regime was very restricted. And it's almost a dictatorship where political actors could not properly, properly address their issues and properly, organize, properly exercise their political agenda. That was a very serious issue in this country. So right at the emergence and establishment of Prosperity Party, the opening up of the political space was a major reform taken. This is, one, the reforming the legal environment for the establishment of political parties and for their movements. And therefore, all the restrictive proclamations, laws, regulations were reformed so that political parties can freely, exercise their political agenda. And also all the political parties who were in exile for a very long time were invited to come home and start exercising their political, activities. This is the opening up. As a result, the political psychology of the environment was totally changed. And the second one is, as you rightly stated earlier, the establishment of Prosperity Party itself, inclusive, holistic, citizens-based, mass-based, huge party. Currently, more than 15 million members of the 120 million Ethiopians are members of the Prosperity Party now. Huge party, big tent, inclusive, mass-based party is established. This is a very serious political, achievement. And the third one is the harmonious relationship established between political parties and the Prosperity Party itself, opposition. So the concept of opposition was significantly transformed. Two, it's not about opposition. It's also about partnership. As a result, you can currently see opposition party leaders as ministers within the federal cabinet and within state cabinets. So this is, the establishment of the harmonious and partnership-based relationship between the ruling party and the opposition parties. This is a very significant change. Not only that, the establishment of free, neutral, and capable democratic institutions in this country is a major achievement. The way the National Electoral Board was established and the reform in the human rights institutions, justice institutions, the media institutions, including their change in thoughts, change in structure, change in the legal framework, and also how they generally operate in the political market, political environment of Ethiopia is changed. As a result, the space for democracy, the space for freedom, the space for governance, inclusive governance in the Ethiopian political landscape is a major achievement over the last 5 years, which is a result of committed intervention of Prosperity Party. As a result of this, the political reformers have added value to the economic reforms and achievements in this country. The first one is saving the economic problems in this country. At the eve of the formation of Prosperity Party and the reform, the economic environment in Ethiopia was seriously challenging. A very serious challenge was there. The Ethiopian economy was almost at the verge of crisis, where the foreign debt was very seriously in a problem, and foreign exchange supply was in a very serious problem, and the budget administration, the revenue management of the state was in a very serious problem, to the extent that the government was even unable to pay the salary of its employees. And the government was even unable to purchase life-saving medicines for citizens. So the first intervention of Prosperity Party is to save the Ethiopian economy. The Ethiopian economy was saved by a very serious intervention of Prosperity Party through a very rapid reform process of saving the economy itself. So the debt restructuring was made. For some of the debts, cancellation was arranged, and the foreign currency was secured from different sources through a very careful diplomatic interventions, and the budget arrangement and the fiscal policy decisions were made so that the Ethiopian economy, which was on the verge of crisis, could be saved. This is a very important achievement, which is implemented during the first year of the establishment of Prosperity Party and the reform. Then these reforms, which were implemented during the first stage of the establishment of Prosperity Party, continued to the highest level. In the last 5 years, in addition to the macroeconomic reform, which helped the Ethiopian economy to come to the proper and healthy track, there are other sectoral reforms, as you rightly stated now, sectoral reforms, which are the results of the continuous economic development in Ethiopia. The first pillar, as you stated earlier, is the reform in the agricultural sector. The reform in the agricultural sector is a huge reform in this country. As you know, Ethiopia is known for an immense natural resources, including soil, arable land, and water resources. And this has not been properly utilized in such a way that the agricultural sector of Ethiopia could be transformed to the highest level. So the EPRDF regime did not properly utilize the natural resources of Ethiopia in such a way that the production and productivity of the agricultural sector could lead to the highest level of economic development. Prosperity Party intervened in the agricultural sector reform and properly designed and implemented the agricultural sector reform program, which added value to the food security of Ethiopia through significantly increasing the production and productivity of agricultural products. This is the first one. And in addition to that, the serious pillars in the agricultural sector itself. One is, using the natural resources properly, the concept of irrigation, and the concept of cluster farming, and the concept of agroecology-based agricultural interventions based on the geography, the climate of Ethiopia, and the concept of wheat revolution, banana initiative, coffee initiative, honey initiative, dairy products initiative, poultry initiative, are very serious initiatives in the agricultural sector, which significantly contributed to the increase in production and productivity of the agricultural sector in Ethiopia, that added significant value in 4 areas. The first one is this intervention has added value to food security issues in Ethiopia. Currently, the Ethiopian food security issue is properly being addressed to the extent that importing wheat from the international market has now stopped totally, because through these serious agricultural interventions, Ethiopia has now made sure that the food security issues in Ethiopia can be addressed by increasing production and productivity in the agricultural sector. This is the first achievement. And the second achievement is food import from the foreign markets is being significantly replaced by production at home. So domestic production of agricultural products is adding value to decrease in food import from the international market. And the third one is, even beyond this, Ethiopia has started exporting agricultural products to the global market. This is a very serious achievement, a result of Prosperity Party over the last 5 years. And the employment opportunity being created in the agricultural sector is a very significant. Millions of citizens, millions of the youth, women, are being benefited from the employment opportunity created in the agricultural sector because of these huge initiatives in the rural and urban areas. This is the agricultural sector achievement, which is a result of the intervention of Prosperity Party. This is the first one. The second one is the manufacturing sector. In the manufacturing sector, there are huge achievements over the last 5 years because of Prosperity Party's inclusive and forward-looking policy reforms in the manufacturing sector. The concept of, for instance, the concept of industrial parks expansion in Ethiopia has significantly added value to the growth of industrialization in Ethiopia. And the concept of cottage and medium-scale industries in Ethiopia has significantly added value to the industrial development in Ethiopia over the last 5 years. So currently, the share of industry in the whole GDP is gradually increasing, and it's improving. And our hope is that the agriculture and other sectors will be gradually, replaced by industrialization, market, service, and other important and inclusive economic pillars. So industrialization and manufacturing sector is also in a very significant growth over the last 5 years. The third one is tourism. You can see the concept of, Gabata Leshagger, Gabata Lahager, Gabata Latulid concepts, which are framed under the umbrella of expanding the tourism opportunities in Ethiopia. And currently, a lot of tourist destinations are being developed through our entrepreneurial government. And many of them are attracting a lot of international tourists. And hopefully, the tourism sector will be the most important pillar of the Ethiopian economy in the years to come. So the tourism development initiative and the reforms in the area has also contributed significantly to the economic development of Ethiopia. The fourth one is mining. The mining sector currently is a very important potential for the Ethiopia's economic growth. Mining was considered as a curse over the last regimes. And the EPRF regime significantly, undermines the mining sector and even, narrates it as a disadvantage, as a problem for security and, stability of the state. So if the Prosperity Party broke this false narration, wrong narration, and tried to properly plan and use the mining potential, the mineral potential of Ethiopia, so that it can significantly add value to the economic growth of the state. Therefore, there are a lot of mining potentials explored in Ethiopia over the last 5 years, and a lot of foreign direct investments are being attracted to the mining sector, and the mining sector is gradually adding value to the Ethiopian economic growth. And the fifth one is the ICT and the digital economy. The ICT and the digital economy emerged as a most promising and a very significant potential for Ethiopia's economic growth. So the e-governance, the digital finance, and also the technological developments here and there that are adding value to the service delivery, and also the ICT and technology-based economic interventions are significantly adding value to the Ethiopia's economic growth. As a result of these 5 sectoral reforms and results in the areas, the Ethiopian economy is one of the 5 biggest economies in Africa right now. And our hope is it will be one of the 2 biggest economies or 3 biggest economies over the last few years.
Well, let's talk about this diplomatic achievements. Can you tell us Ethiopia's diplomatic success after the formation of Prosperity Party over the past 5 years?
Definitely, the emergence and establishment of Prosperity Party has significantly changed the diplomatic environment of Ethiopia, which is a result of the ideological transformation of Prosperity Party itself. So, Prosperity Party ideologically is forward-looking party in the sense that diplomacy should add value to the Ethiopian Renaissance. And it's not, only restrictive type of diplomacy. It is a very assertive, inclusive diplomacy, which is inherently principle-based diplomacy. It's a principle-based, mutual benefit-based diplomacy that gives due attention and consideration to the neighboring countries, has significantly improved the diplomatic landscape, the diplomatic environment of the country. So as a result, I can say currently, the harmonious and healthy relationship with neighboring countries, which is based on mutual benefits, mutual interest, national interest of the countries, is now at a very, very promising stage, in the sense that mutual development, mutual security interventions, and mutual political, social, and people-to-people diplomacies are adding value to the Ethiopian diplomatic fruits. And therefore, I can say diplomatically, Ethiopia is at a very promising stage. And also globally, Ethiopia's assertive diplomatic policy and diplomatic strategy has also added value to properly benefit from the diplomatic marketplace. One is, for instance, how it emerged and got access to the BRICS is one of the achievements. This is the result of assertive and bold diplomatic interventions. And the proper initiation and completion of the Ethiopian Great Renaissance Dam through all those diplomatic hurdles is a result of our diplomatic intervention in such a way that Ethiopia's assertive diplomatic intervention played a role in such a way that Ethiopia can properly use its natural resources and properly table its interests and negotiate in the international diplomatic table and ensure its interests through bold and assertive diplomatic approach.
Well, the government is marking the 5th year anniversary. You can forward your remarks, good wish, maybe your future prospects, everything.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is, Prosperity Party is marking its fifth year anniversary, and the last 5 years for Prosperity Party is full of, political achievements, economic achievements, diplomatic achievements, and also social achievements. And the future is very bright. And in the future, Ethiopia will be the example of democracy in Africa. Ethiopia will be example of economic prosperity in Africa, and we definitely will eradicate poverty from Ethiopia and become the beacon of multidimensional prosperity in Africa. For this, all our Prosperity Party leaders, members, and the public in general should join hands and use all the opportunities that Ethiopia has given us. And therefore, definitely, under the leadership of Prosperity Party, Ethiopia's political, economic, social problems will be solved, and holistic and multidimensional prosperity will be achieved. And thank you so much. And I would like to say happy anniversary for Prosperity Party members and leaders.
Dr. Bikila Hurrisa, Head of Public and International Relations, thank you for your insight that is in line with the fifth anniversary of Prosperity Party.
Thank you so much.
Well
Thank
done.
you so much. Yeah.
Dear viewers, this brings us to the end of our edition for today. See you next time with another edition. Bye-bye. Take care.